kind of like I have like, I mean they're comfy, but I feel like these are just much higher quality.
And they're much more comfortable.
Yeah, so I don't know where did you get those at?
I got them at Uniqlo at the mall.
Uniqlo. Is that at the
Uniqlo?
Deptford Mall?
No, the
Cherry
Cherry
Hill.
Hill Mall.
Oh, I don't. Oh, Cherry Hill Mall is so bougie. Everything there is so expensive.
You think so?
Everything has the same prices everywhere.
Yeah.
No,
It's
dude,
like
that's
Cherry.
all of those stores at Cherry Hill Mall have are pretty high end. Much more than like Deptford, where it's just like Sports Authority. Like everything at Cherry Hill is like Aldo.
Oh, yeah, good
Do you
times.
like
I love
Aldo?
Aldo. I have a weakness for shoes and buying things. It's sad. I'm like, oh, look at all the things I can't afford that I insist on needing. Aren't we supposed to be talking about video games? Probably.
I guess.
I'm starting to get
Yes.
catatonic, guys. Like,
Yeah, we gotta pump Ray's heart up. We gotta start talking about video games. Hey everybody, welcome back to Game On. My name's John.
I'm Ray.
And I'm Barry.
We're here to talk about spooky video games.
Spooky games.
What do you think about spooky video games? Have you been playing any spooky video games
Yes.
lately?
So one of the games I've been most excited for this year was Alien Isolation. It takes place in between, at the end of Alien, like after like Ripley escapes and before Aliens, and you play as her daughter as she's like going to go try to like find her mother and stuff, which I thought was a great idea.
Because Ripley is frozen at this point, right? Doesn't she like get
Yeah, she goes
frozen
into,
in like a
cryo
thing?
sleep at
Because
the end
Aliens
of
is like
Alien.
Aliens is like a couple.
It's like 100 years
100
after.
or 100
I think.
years, yeah.
Yeah. So like after she like defeats the alien and escapes, she like goes into hypersleep, and then like the ship like gets lost or something. I don't quite remember. But you're her daughter looking for her, and I thought it was a great idea for like a horror survival game because like you shouldn't be fighting aliens. They're gonna kill you. The aliens will always win. So the cool thing about this game is honestly the Sevastopol, which is the ship that you're on, like trying to get information about your mother. It's like one of the most well-designed like environments since I think Rapture.
Really?
Like it's like just living, like just being there is exciting, and then the rest of the game is like downhill.
Is everything all like the 80s sci-fi where it's like VHS quality and everything
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
black and white?
You have like this tracker that's just like green and black, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad that the future has progressed past that.
They're like scan lines and everything. That sounds awesome.
My biggest gripe with Alien is that it takes such a long time to set up. Like the first hour of the game, there is no alien, and then you still have 19 hours of horror survival.
19 hours.
It's like a 20-hour game.
That is too long for a survival horror game.
Like, I get really antsy in horror survival games, so like I like literally will crouch walk the entire time. Like I don't think I've stood up at all in Alien Isolation, and that's just too long to be crouching. Like poor Amanda Ripley's legs must be so exhausted.
Or they're just like jacked, like
giant. But like, because I was thinking like if you guys have played Outlast, which was a indie game, it was developed by a Canadian studio, Red Barrels. I think it's a great horror survival game. Like it terrified me, but it's only like 5 hours. Because that's all my body could take.
I didn't like Outlast.
You didn't like
No,
Outlast?
I didn't. I remember so I remember there's a part where I saw a dude's dong.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
There's dongs in
Yeah.
Outlast.
No.
There are
I
fully
thought that was
rendered dongs.
Yeah, next gen dongs. And it was, I don't know, like that was probably the scariest part. It was either that or the
Weird too. We're not going to talk about that. But
Could we please talk about it?
it's a really cool game. You're like going to investigate this asylum, and the worst part is like I'm walking up to this asylum and I was like, I don't want to go in here. And the game's like, go in. I'm like, no. They're like, go in. I'm like, do I have to? And you have to do all these things you don't want to do. It's like, I think climbing in this broken window to investigate this asylum is a bad idea. What do you have to do? You have to do
There,
it
and
anyway.
your character is way too like smart alecky in that game. Like there's a part in the game, without spoilers, where you are maimed. Like you lose a part of your body very like horrifically. And so like he goes like in your journal you can kind of see like updates and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like joking about it. And I'm like, dude, you were just like tortured by this like crazy surgeon doctor who is cutting off parts of your body, and he's joking about it. It's not
you gotta take things in stride, man.
yeah, but like at a certain point, like you need to kind of like step back, and you're like, well, this might be a little bit serious now. I might die.
Don't
know.
you think though that Outlast kind of found a good balance though? It's just like I thought it was, you didn't think it was scary, but I thought it was scary, but it wasn't to the point where it's just like I don't think I can play this anymore.
I thought there were like weird parkour mechanics in that.
There were weird
when you were
parkour
like
mechanics.
running and it was like press A to vault over this table
That
like
was-
you're a ninja, and I'm like, you're supposed to be like a journalist, right?
I did not die for the first like hour and a half of that game. I was really good, yeah, because I played like a little girl and I hide all the time. So like I'm running and like the guy is chasing me and I'm like, oh, like I totally like got away. And you have this mechanic where you can like look over your shoulder when you're running.
Which is the most disorienting like camera thing, because when you're running, like, so you're sprinting and you just hit one of the shoulder buttons and it's supposed to like look over your shoulder. Your head snaps 180 degrees over whatever
Really
shoulder
quickly.
you're doing it. So you
But-
can like hit both buttons and your head is spinning like this constantly, trying to like look for the whatever like horrible monster is chasing after you. It's not. I don't like. It's
Let me tell you though, looking over your shoulder is like the worst idea you could ever make. Like I'm running, I'm
never
like,
do it.
oh, I'm totally like home free. I turn around and there's just like a wooden plank to my face. And I just get beat to death on the ground, and like I'm sitting in my basement with my friends, just like shrieking in terror.
Was there like a preacher?
There's a preacher. There's like a.
He had his face is all cut up, right?
There's a lot of
I'm
things.
trying to like put together like things from that game. I don't know.
I have never played a horror game.
That's because you're a baby.
I am a baby.
You're a
Try
Rowan
Sonic
baby.
Adventure. Sonic 2006. That's a horror game.
Sonic Adventure is a horror game too, dude. You go back and play that game. That game's rough.
I actually thought Gone Home was supposed to be a horror game all the way up until it ended, and I said, "Oh, that wasn't a horror game. That was just
It was
A
a,
game-
it was
that
a
was-
1995 simulator.
not horror, bordering on not a game either." So, I don't know.
Well, on that note, we're gonna have to bid farewell to our spooky video game talk. Thanks for tuning in to Game On. I'm John,
I'm Ray.
And I'm Barry.
and we'll probably see you next time. Who knows?